So I'm finally starting to feel a bit more myself again. I am feeling like I am on the right track, and I think today's journal reflects that. I'm not yet happy again, but I can feel that I'm finally on the road again towards happiness. I have just gone through one of the most tumultuous and emotional experiences that I've gone through in the past decade, and it is understandable why happiness has eluded me recently. But now that my emotions of sadness and anger are beginning to subside, I'm able to see that this is exactly what I needed to experience to lead me to the path that I needed to find to be able to become the person that I'm meant to become. I felt so lost for so long, grasping at any chance to become successful, only to realize that I was not living the life that I wanted, rather, the life that I'd felt obligated to live. For the first time in my life, I feel like I'm in control of my destiny. And for the first time, I feel supported in my decisions with the support system needed to pursue my dreams. This is just a start of the start of a long journey, a journey that I'll be on for the rest of my life. For the first time, I feel the conviction and confidence to go after my dreams. And for the first time, it feels like these dreams are truly mine. With this newfound confidence, I can finally begin to work with the power of the universe on my side and have the best possible chance to bring my dreams into reality. The path will inevitably bring about new challenges, but these challenges will only make me stronger and make the destination even more inviting. The bigger the dragon, the more epic the hero. I'm no longer afraid to face each and every dragon that may appear. Each one will make me stronger. Time to face life head on and go after my dreams, no matter what happens along the way. So, like I started off with saying, I'm finally feeling a huge weight being lifted off my shoulders. Not only the weight and the pain and suffering that I've gone through recently because of my breakup and the tremendous heartbreak that it caused, but the sadness and the emotions that I've gone through over the past couple months has allowed me to completely, or has allowed me to look back at my entire life and try and analyze it from the most objective perspective that I could analyze it. It's impossible to see the objective truth of anything, as most of the time or all of the time everything is influenced by our own perceptions, by our own thoughts, by the conditioning that the culture that we have grown up in has had on us. But now that I'm looking back, instead of seeing my 20s as a set of failures, is I'm able now to see that even though it felt like those were all failures, those were all the necessary experiences that I had to go through to be able to actualize and create the life that I've always wanted for myself. I said in some of my past videos that this, what I'm experiencing now, is the rekindling of a flame and of an idea that I had over 10 years ago when I first started to embark on a path of spirituality, and I felt like my calling was in the not only the self-help but also in the addiction space. And for my whole 20s, it is what I tried to pursue was pulling me away from that path. And like I've also maybe mentioned before, is both your rock bottom, but also heartbreaks being essentially another sense, creating another sense of rock bottom, is those end up being such great transition points for being able to try and create the life that you want, where the reason why you'd or I'd ended up reaching those rock bottoms was because I was actually not pursuing the goals and the dreams that were truly mine, but rather the ones that I'd inherited from my family, from society and the culture that I grew up in. And now, instead of looking back on my 20s as a set of failures, I am able to look back on my 20s as a set of lessons to help me through experience learn from all of these failures and allow these failures to create a stronger and more resilient person. And now I know where I want to be going with my life. And it is back into the self help and addiction space. I've still got a lot of research to do, and I really want to pursue it. But I've always been super interested in psychology, as well as my one of my biggest interests, which has actually been philosophy. And what I'm currently looking at doing now is going back to study next year and potentially studying neuropsychology, which, as interesting and fun as it is going to be a degree that, if I'm able to take it as far as I want and be able to acquire eventually a PhD, it will mean that the next 7 years of my life will be dedicated to studies. And now I'm trying to figure out how I can make that viable, because I'm also 30 now. I need to be making a living, or at least be able to afford the means to be able to pursue and go back to these studies. And with each day, I'm able to figure out exactly what that might be. And I think photography is definitely going to be one of them. I was trying to look into doing something like life coaching, which, from what I've seen a lot in the online space, is filled with a lot of, yeah, just fake gurus and frauds, you can say, that are using their life experience to life coach others. And that made me very hesitant to actually try and pursue that. Where now, what I've figured out I can potentially do instead is rather focus on doing some sort of mentorship programs, because I have in the past mentored some kids through the surf school, and I really loved and felt a tremendous fulfillment in that. And I still need to figure it all out. The idea just came to me this morning, but I think I'll be able to pursue some sort of mentorship and being able to be a mentor to specifically people struggling with the same afflictions as me, like ADHD, if they are on the autistic spectrum, because that's what I've never had in my life. Yes, I've had mentors, but I haven't had mentors and many people to look up to in my circles that have the same afflictions as me. And I feel like that could really be one of my callings, being able to help adolescents and teenagers that are struggling with the same things that I used to struggle with, and at the moment maybe can't quite put a finger on what all of those are. If I maybe got my diagnosis earlier in life, I would have been able to handle things a lot better, knowing the challenges that would come up for me. But in the past, I was also super resistant to getting any sort of formal diagnosis because I didn't want to be put into a box. But I can't go back and change that. If I do try and look back, I still would have resisted it in any case. So I don't think it would have made too much help for me necessarily in the past. But I am here now. I am trying to be a lot more honest and authentic. And yeah, my life is not completely changed yet, but it's in the process of change. And I'm really excited for the next chapters where my next 10 years are going to take me. Hopefully, it will lead to me being able to actualize my dreams, where my dreams now aren't to reach any level of wealth or financial standing, but rather be able to not change the world like I used to always tell myself I want to do, be able to change the world. It's virtually impossible for one person to change the world. But if I'm able to have some sort of positive influence on in some people's lives, then that can start the cascading effect of me helping to them to improve their own lives, and then them being able to improve the lives of those around them. So I'm super excited for this next chapter. It's going to be not a long one, it's going to be a lifelong pursuit because I finally have conviction and confidence in the decisions that I'm making. So thanks for watching once again, and I'll see you again tomorrow.